Hiya crafters, Amy here, and today I'm going to put together a quick, colorful critter card with some pre-batched items. So let's jump right in. Now this box was formerly a chocolate box from Christmas, but it's the perfect size to hold a bunch of A2 size card panels and bases. These are from various different crafting adventures, depending on what products I want to use or what techniques. You can see all sorts of different things. I have foiling, stenciling, alcohol ink, watercolor, you name it. But I'm basically flipping through with the intention that I want to make a card for one of my daughter's Spanish immersion teachers. So my daughter said that she likes elephants, so I'm just kind of flipping through, knowing that I want to make something colorful and cute to send to her just because. So I'm flipping through just to make sure that I have the panels that I want. I'm kind of down between these two on the left. That beautiful shimmery stencil one is round fragment stencil from a Colorful Life Designs. I ultimately don't end up using that one, but I will link the stencil below if you're interested in that. But here's a photo of the finished card. You can see I chose a watercolor background. That panel is on actual watercolor paper, and I just watercolored that rough rectangle shape. And now I'm going to sift through my critter book here. This is my storage solution for pre-cut colored critters, and I'm looking for an elephant. So I realized upon looking for this that I don't have a lot of elephant stamps for some reason, but I do have one, and it does happen to have a bird on it too, which this particular teacher is a birder like my daughter, so that's just an extra bonus. But I'm figuring out initially at this point if I want to use it with this cool round fragments background, or ultimately if I want to use it with the rainbow one. So this is kind of my process when I'm not kind of starting from scratch. When I'm using a lot of my pre-batched items, I'll just kind of, put different things together, which may seem random and not planned out, but oftentimes that's how I'm able to make a lot of cool, unique, different cards. So I cut down this watercolor panel with my stitched edge rectangle dies, and I have this Spanish Sentiments stamp set that I got, which I haven't used yet, which I was originally going to use, but then I decided to use ultimately some different Spanish sentiments. So I have a card base here that's 110-pound Nina Classic Crest Solar White, and now this is my sentiment book. So I know I have these Spanish Label Love, I think is what they're called. They're from Altenew. Some more Spanish sentiments that look almost like they came out of a label maker. So ultimately I decided to go with a couple of those, one for the front and one for the inside. But I just basically cut those down, leaving just a little tiny bit of a white edge around it, and then it kind of adds a nice pop of black to my design. So the other stamp set will have to sit and wait a little bit longer until I have another use for it, but I have a lot of native Spanish speaking people in my life. So I love having some sentiments in Spanish. So I decided to go with Hola for the front, and I'm just going to pop it up with this little tiny piece of foam tape. These are little strips of foam tape that I get from Amazon, and I'll link that as well below. But basically it gives it a little bit of dimension, otherwise the card is nice and flat, and I'll kind of put that in the design, and then ultimately liquid glue the other sentiment on the inside of the card. So this is just a quick and easy way to kind of pull together a card with stuff you maybe already have on hand. So if you're like me and like to try out, different techniques and different products in your crafty stash, but don't necessarily turn it into a card, I'm sure you have a load of backgrounds like I do somewhere. So this is just one more component of having different pieces ready to go so that you can pull a card together quickly when you're inspired or when you need it. But basically I'm just going to use this little custom stamp that I have here. I got this from Chatty Press on Etsy quite a while ago. It did actually come on a plastic handle, but I pulled it off and converted it into a cling stamp. So I will link that information as well below. But this card came together quickly, and I'm sure her teacher will enjoy it. So I hope you enjoyed the card today. If you did, please hit the thumbs up and consider subscribing, and I'll check you next time. Bye.